Hi, everyone. My name is Sharon Leigh, and I'm here today with my friend Jamie Colston. And Jamie and I met, I believe, in the Facilitators Remote Cafe that happens every Monday morning. And yeah, and we kind of became friends. I happen to be an expat American living in Bretagne, France, in Pont-Scorff to be exact. And I'm a neurodivergent behavioral scientist and an ambience alchemist, instructional designer, yes and expert, experimental learning coach, um, artist, a number of things. I'll stop there. But Jamie and I have bonded about writing and about poetry. And so this is why I'm interested in helping him do this particular project because yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun and I'm absolutely fascinated and I want to see what he does. I want to see where he takes it. And I also of course want the book. So, yeah, if I can help instigate that, yeah, I'm all in. And so now I will let Jamie introduce himself.
Thank you. That was really lovely. So my name's Jamie. I am a poet and a facilitator at Organised Community Ceilidh, and I'm a parent as well. And today, I'm just going to be sharing with you a bit about launching my poetry into the wild. And Sharon's going to ask me some questions to help people understand what it is I'm doing and why.
So the first question is, why a poetry book? Jamie.
Thanks. Uh, so I have a friend who on a walk one day said, "What are you doing, Jamie?" And I said, "I'm writing poetry." She said, "Oh, great. Now I'm going to be able to say that I've got a friend who wrote a poetry anthology." And I said, "Wow, that's like 15 years work. Why not get started now?" And so I've decided to create something with all the poetry that I've been writing over the last 3 years. And it's kind of, it's a bit more than a book. It's a poetry collection, which are more like meditations. And so the idea is that we're going to audio and video record them in wild places. And the idea is that you take them into wild places with you when they're made.
Mm.
And you kind of have this interaction between the poetry and the words, but also what happens afterwards, uh, where you are in nature.
Mm. I love it. I love it. Tell me more about this project.
In a few weeks' time, me and my son and another friend's daughter and another friend who's a professional photographer and videographer are going to go to some wild places, and we're going to record the poem to a high level of sound quality. And during this next few weeks as well, the process is that I'm going to be inviting friends and strangers and reading poetry to them in wild places as well, as part of the sort of crowdfunding campaign, and just letting people know these are the poems and this is how they move and touch people, and inspire people to think. Because I think what they are is their inquiries, their sort of questions, and how when we come into questions, like how do we live into the answers.
Mm, I love it. And I love the what you added since the last time we spoke. Yeah, that's really cool. Um, so then the third question is, Jamie, why fundraising?
As a freelance facilitator for over 12 years now, as many of the other freelancers who are listening to this will know, it's you make enough most of the time every month, and it's a beautiful, wonderful process in trusting life. And so this is me kind of entering into an agreement with the people that fund this work, this future work that I am creating, and saying, please help me bring these poems into, the wilder context of how they can flow into other people's lives, into strangers' lives, and then how we are as a collective in relationship to that.
Mm, love it. Love it. So then this leads us into the fourth question is like, so Jamie, what's in it for me?
So I think I'm still going to turn that on its head and pass it back to you, and say, Sharon, what's in it for you? Why are you helping me? Because you've put in a lot of time and supported me and gifted me your presence. So why are you doing that?
Mm. Yeah, it's like, and the answer is simply that it's just like I want it. I want to see it, you know, and watching you navigate this is so interesting, and it's just once it's like you started explaining it and you keep adding little things to it, I'm just like, oh my God, yes. And I just want to be a part of it. And that's the bottom line. Yeah. And so I can imagine, you know, other people being very interested in it. But for me, it's, you know, it's my own selfish thing of just like, oh hell yes, because I want it to manifest. So it's like, well, how can I help you? Because I think it's really cool. I love the fact that you're including your son and you're the kid of your other friend. Um, yeah, I think that's really interesting. So it's multi-generational and um, kind of getting other people hooked on into poetry, and because I mean symbol and metaphor is everything.
Mm.
And yeah.
And I think that was one of the things that a friend said when I was talking about this work. Is we talked about it being a gateway to poetry. You know, this work is a kind of gateway into poems, and so actually the work that I'm producing now isn't just about interacting with my work, but the process and the way that I write poems is actually a way in which we can engage more generally with poetry, which is sort of in our bodies, in our
Hmm.
imaginations, and in relationship with everything else that's going on in life.
And I also see it in this particular project is a way that people can participate in things that you and I haven't even thought up yet.
So initially the pledges are, you can pledge £3.50, which is essentially the cost of a coffee here in the UK, and that's just a way of saying, hey, I see you, I love what you're creating, I really want to
Mhm.
support you. This is a little bit of money to support you. Next up, we have £15, which is I want to buy the recordings that you're creating.
Mhm.
It's kind of like a pre-sales thing of like, I'm buying this upfront and supporting you in that way.
Mhm.
Uh, Next up is £50, and that's going to be a poetry remix value. So you donate £50, and actually what we're going to do is record the poems, and then I'm going to
Mhm.
work with some other artists and creative people and make remixes of the poems. So that will be other people
Very
reading
cool.
or other people putting music to them. So it'll be a kind of
That's
really
cool.
interesting and really unique thing for the people that buy that. Um, Following that is £100. And £100 is, so I'm working with another friend who is local in Bath. They run a natural skincare product company called Bade, and we're going to be doing self-care packages. So as well as your poems, you'll also get sent a
That's
self-care package of like
cool.
these beautiful salt rubs, and
Right.
all of these products are named after specific places in Bath. And in
Mhm.
some of those places, we're going to be recording some of the poems. So it's a real connection to land and place as well. And then next up is £300, and that is I will meet with you and I will listen to your story or a story that you want to tell me, and I will write you a poem from that story.
Oh, that's
And so
awesome.
that's going to be a really small number of people that
Right.
do that, but that's one of the points. And then we were like, let's do £1,000 donation, which is
Mhm.
where you can work with me and you, and
Mhm.
we can do something really creative together, yet to be defined, but it will be over a
Right.
month, 2 months, but it will be
Right.
some way that you can come and work with two really creative people, to look at how poetry can inform some of the things that you're traveling with in your life right now.
Mhm.
How maybe through words we can create an experience for you that helps you move through something that you're living in.
Yeah, that's the one I'm like really, when we had that idea, I was just like, oh, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's none of there's and it's infinite. And we should probably I mean see again, here I go again. I'm like doing my we thing on your project. But it is interesting because I see a lot of potential because there could be another category that's just like you know, bump it up to, you know, 1,500 or 2,000 and or just a, you know, or just like surprise me with your donation and you get a surprise thing.
Mm,
Almost, surprise, surprise.
yeah,
Excellent title there. And
yeah.
yeah, surprise, surprise, where it's like whatever they donate over that particular thing, and then whatever, we come up with, and that to do something really spectacular
Mm,
would be interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
Now, I love the fact that you have a certain level of I want to do this, but on the other end of it, there's also just an open possibility of where this could go. That
Mm,
is what I find incredibly interesting.
mm,
And using this medium of the crowdfunding in ways that I haven't really seen it used before.